What's up, you guys? So in today's video, we're going to talk about a possible scenario where the Federal Reserve does not hike interest rates. You've got to hear this. Now, before we dive in, if you wouldn't mind just hitting that like button, that helps so much with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much, you guys. And as always, I would love to have you as a subscriber, so please subscribe. Okay, you guys, so Jerome Powell might be bluffing. Yep, believe it or not, Jerome Powell might not be hiking rates as much as the market believes so. I mean, let's take a look at history with Jerome Powell. So back in 2021, we had roaring inflation. Almost every single economist, except for a few, were saying, no way that this is transitory. The Federal Reserve needs to take action ASAP. But of course, Jerome Powell kept saying, nah, everything's good. It's transitory. It's supply chain. It's just supply chain. COVID supply chain. Once COVID eases, no big deal. Everything's going to come back to normal. Now remember, this is the same Jerome Powell that said modern monetary theory, where QE, quantitative easing, does not impact the economy and inflation and all that. It's fine. It's no big deal. We can print unlimited amounts of money. Our printers are strong. So to a lot of you, it should come to no surprise that there's a good chance that Jerome Powell is talking a big talk, this hawkish sentiment that he put out in January's FOMC meeting, but we know that might not come to pass. Because you see, we are in a slowing economy. Our economy is already struggling, supply chains are super struggling, and if we hike rates, that could be the ultimate death of this economy. So it is possible that Jerome Powell is just talking about hiking rates to kind of artificially hike the rates, but not actually hike the rates. You see, in January, he just talked about hiking rates. He never said for 100% certainty that we're going to get a rate hike in March. All of his answers were mega vague. I mean, one of the reporters asked him if he would hike 0.25 or half a basis point in March, and this was his response. That's a possibility. Yo, everything is a possibility in life, right? And so why can't he just give straight answers and say, yeah, inflation is bad. We're actually going to use our toolkit to hike interest rates to calm inflation. See, Jerome Powell, he's always talking about doing things. You know, he's always talking about, oh, I've got this toolkit to stomp out inflation, but yet he never uses it. Imagine this scenario. You go to a doctor and you tell the doctor, hey, yo, I've got cancer. I think I'm gonna die. Can you help me? And the doctor responds, okay, you most certainly have cancer, aka inflation, but don't worry, I have a toolkit that will fix that cancer. And you say, great. When can we get started? And you say, well, your cancer might just go away on its own. We all know that cancer usually doesn't go away on its own, and you have to aggressively attack it. That's kind of how inflation works. So we have a doctor, Jerome Powell, who's not really doing anything. He's just talking about things. And to be honest, I believe that Jerome Powell is a pure dove. You see, doves, they don't mind inflation too much. Doves always want a roaring market, huge assets, increasing prices, especially in assets in the stock market. They like to feel like, wow, look what I've done to this economy. The market's just roaring, right? That is Jerome Powell to a T. And so yes, this is the possible outcomes. There's two of them. The first possible outcome is our economy gets completely destroyed by raising of rates. Now, in my opinion, this is no doubt the correct path to go down. We'll have some huge short-term pain, but some long-term gain. We won't lose the dollar as the reserve currency throughout the world, and future generations will flourish under this short-term pain for that long-term gain. Option number two that Jerome Powell could do, he could just keep talking about how inflation is running hot, and okay, don't worry guys, we got a toolkit, but we think that it's too soon to start raising interest rates. And even if they do raise interest rates, it'll be meaningless. It won't even do anything. They'll raise rates by maybe 0.25% or 0.25% in 3 months. And then 6 months later, 0.25%. And at the end of the year, we're at 0.75%, not even 1%. Right now, we're at 0% interest rates. That's going to do nothing with a 7% inflation rate that we currently have. You see, back in the 80s, to stomp out inflation, Paul Volcker, the GOAT of all Federal Reserve chairmen, he raised rates to 20%. Such crazy, drastic measures. But what did it do? 11% inflation is what we had in 1980. Paul Volcker jacked it. He did 20%, completely destroyed inflation. The dollar currency was preserved. Some crazy short-term pain, but look at what happened to the American economy. Roaring 20s, everything fought back, and we were 10 times better off because of Paul Volcker. So thank you, Paul Volcker, for doing the right thing. Possible scenario two, yeah, he does nothing. Inflation gets worse. Inflation keeps spiraling. The rich keep getting rich. And inflation is just a tax on the poor. So the poor keep getting worse. So I hope that Jerome Powell does the right thing by raising interest rates substantially so we have that short-term pain, and we're better off in the long term for future generations, and the dollar is preserved. And that's it for today, you guys. I would like to hear your comments on what you think is going to happen in the comment section below, and please subscribe because I'm releasing tons of great content about market conditions and everything money. So please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.